Okay, welcome back, everybody. Joel Landon here from eQRP. I have one of our great guests with us today, Rebecca, and we're excited to have her here. Welcome, Rebecca. How are you doing today?
Hi, doing well. Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me to be here.
Yeah, we're excited and we love putting these together. Our members really look forward to this opportunity to learn from industry experts and learn about their specific craft, their
Mhm.
asset class. And I'm confident that you're going to be able to share some really good insights with our members. And then hopefully they'll be excited and encouraged to reach out to you and potentially do some business with you. So we're looking forward to this. And I think what I'll do is just read a little bit about Rebecca so our eQRP members can learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, as a third generation real estate professional, Rebecca and her husband bought their first rental property in 2012. She spent a decade in the tech space as a sales and marketing professional and transitioned to a full-time investor in 2020. Based in Lynchburg, Virginia, where she lives with her husband and three children, Rebecca is an expert at making her money work harder than she does. Love that. Her experience includes roles as director of investor relations for two real estate firms and ownership in over 1,000 units. She's a licensed real estate agent and also provides funding for rehabbers that are transforming their community. That's awesome. Rebecca started Taylor Investments to help clients achieve financial freedom through acquiring income generating real estate assets. She holds a BS in public relations and an MBA from Liberty University. Again, Rebecca, so happy to have you here and thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Joel.
Well, let's go ahead and kick it off with a couple of questions. I know I mentioned we like to put our guests in the hot seat and just hear from them directly about some of the, insights and information about your industry. And I know it's going to be super helpful. So, with that being said, why don't you tell us a little bit about Tailored Investments and what you provide for your investors?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a relatively new firm. We started last year in April, so it's been almost a year and a half that we've been in business, and our goal is really to help friends, family, our community get into real estate. Real estate can be very overwhelming. There's a lot to know, and there's a lot of assets and avenues to go when approaching real estate. I mean, there's a million ways to make money in this business. And I love this business because there are so many options and so many ways to make money. But again, it can be overwhelming. And so we're trying to provide an avenue for people to get into real estate passively, where they don't have to deal with toilets and tenants and trash. I've been dealing with toilets and tenants and trash for a long time, and it's a lot of work. Even with a property manager, we still get calls. We still have issues come up. And so if you're in a space where you are good at your job, you make really great money, I don't think there's necessarily a need to go and get another degree almost. I mean, in learning something that's completely foreign to you, and it's going to be another job when you might be able to invest in this in a passive way and still take advantage of a majority of the benefits with cash flow, appreciation, equity growth, tax benefits, diversification. It's very hands off. I mean, there's just so many great benefits to going this way. And I think the returns are pretty comparable, to be quite honest, as we have both active and passive investments. I've seen very comparable returns. So we're able to help leverage the experience that we have so that our investors can get into deals and great deals that they might not have been able to find on their own. They might not have been able to get into a market or with that operator. And so we partner with really solid operators around the country and find and do deals together. And so it's been a great ride so far. We're learning and growing, and again, leaning on the expertise of the operators that we're partnering with. And so excited to be here and share more.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Our members are a lot like what you mentioned initially in your response. They are W-2 individuals. They have their families, they have their profession, and they dedicate so much of their time to that, but they are looking for opportunities to invest in real estate. So to know that there are people like you and others that are part of your firm that are willing to actually, hey, let us roll up the sleeves, let us go source and find the opportunities, let us go work side by side with the operators,
Mhm.
and we'll have your money work for you. So I love that this exists, that there is opportunity like this for our members because they can't dedicate all of this energy towards the things that you're talking about. So love that. I know that this is going to resonate really well with our members. And with that being said, What are some of the steps that you typically take, Rebecca, when you identify opportunities for your clients?
Yeah. So, being that I've been in this business for a while, in my bio you read, I've worked for two different firms. I was able to see a lot of the ins and outs of what works and what doesn't work. Learn from some incredible minds out there. There's so many smart people out there, and we've seen the industry change a lot in the last couple of years, especially with rising interest rates. And so, I've unfortunately seen some people that have lost a lot of money in this business the last couple of years. And so I'm very mindful of what's happening around us in the industry and the players involved, and I'm pretty well connected with this space. I attend conferences regularly, part of some masterminds. I am very involved in our real estate investor community here locally, trying to keep pulse in every way possible as to what's happening and how we can be prepared. My biggest desire is to protect my investors' investment, protect their principal and to make money with that money. I mean, and that is our goal is to really provide solid returns, risk-adjusted returns with recession-proof assets, that are not going to have big issues over the long haul. So when I'm looking at potential opportunities, it's a process. It takes time. Again, we're focused on finding really good operators to partner alongside and do deals. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. So being able to find people and companies that have been around a long time, they have a really solid track record. That's my goal, is to find those groups to do some deals together. And so first and foremost, I'm looking at that company and I'm doing a lot of due diligence on them. It's a process, takes time. The last deal we did here locally in Lynchburg was a 100-unit multifamily property. We closed on in June. The partner on that deal, we met back last summer. So it was probably 6 months of just getting to know each other, and talking and seeing if it was the right fit, me asking a ton of questions. And eventually, earlier this year, we got together and talked through this potential deal that they were looking at and whether or not it could be a good fit for me to work with them. And so it was a process. Again, just a lot of questions, a lot of getting to know them, understanding the economics of the deal and their track record, their history, potential background checks, just looking at their finances, like looking at the underwriting for the property. I mean, we really dig into that. And so I'm very cautious. People ask quite regularly, do you want to partner up on a deal? And I'm like, probably not. Like I'm very selective and I am only going to work with a handful of people and bring those deals to my investors. And so one thing I find is a lot of times these operators are amazing managers and, they run their properties very well, but they're not great at marketing. So they have a hard time being able to find people that want to come and invest in the deals. And so we're able to kind of utilize our strengths and weaknesses together and balance each other out, which is a lot of fun. And I just love being able to grow with them and to grow, we're able to grow our businesses together and do future deals. And so it's a blast. I mean, it's a lot of fun being able to bring these things to my investors and say, look, here's something that I found. We've been working on this for a year and I'm super excited to share it with you because I think it meets your criteria. We're protecting your investment. And there's so much upside and opportunity to grow it. And so I shy away from real big value add investments. There's a lot of unknowns sometimes in those, and you can make amazing returns, no doubt at all. I don't
Sure.
question that. But I love cash flow. Cash flow is, very important to us. And so that's one of the big things that we look at is it cash flowing now? Are we going to be able to get cash flow up over time? What is the value going to be in 5 years? Typically we're looking at 3 to 5 year holds on our properties. And so that's a little bit, I mean, there's so much more. I have a
Sure.
list to work through, but I don't want to take all the time this morning.
No, I'm glad that you really dove into almost like a case study. You brought up this recent raise that you had back in June, and just walking those that are going to watch this through that process, and how, quite frankly, it does actually take a lot of time to get to know the operator, get to know the asset itself, and then to dig into the details and really understand if it works. So I do appreciate you walking through that whole process. And you're right, like, oh, there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes. And hopefully those that are listening today would feel encouraged to go back and maybe reconnect with you offline and
Yeah,
ask you some more questions, maybe dive into that case study a little bit more, so
absolutely.
that they can feel good about it. But thank you so
Yeah,
much for sharing
and
that.
I just want to add too, I think it's really easy to put together an amazing offering memorandum and throw out all these awesome return projections, but they're projections, like what has this company done in the past? And again, what does the track record look like? But show me, like, how is this really going to happen? And what happens if it doesn't happen? Like, what's your worst case scenario? And are you planning for the worst? Do you have money set aside? I mean, what are your contingencies and how are you going to handle those? So I think again, in years past, we've seen everybody was making money, in the past couple of years when interest rates were so low, it was easy, but now it's a lot harder to make deals pencil out. And I take a conservative approach. So I think it's important when you're looking at deals, don't be, don't choose to move forward with something just because the returns look good. You got to do a whole lot more due diligence. And so I just want to encourage your listeners, take your time and ask a lot of questions. It is okay. If anybody gives you a hard time about asking questions, run the other way. Like you should ask every question imaginable and don't ever feel stupid asking questions.
Great information. Kind of going along with that, Rebecca, have you faced any challenges in this market or even just in the industry in general? And
Mm,
kind of what did you guys do? Or if you didn't, have you seen some challenges
yeah.
that maybe you learned from yourself?
Yeah. I think it comes back to where interest rates have been, and where they were still high. I mean, we were seeing a little bit of drop recently, but I think it's made it a lot harder for people to hit the projections that they said. I mean, I'm an LP in one deal actually that they had projected, like a 4% annualized distribution. They're not distributing at all right now, and that's unfortunate, and I didn't put a ton of money into that. My husband and I didn't put a ton of money in, but we were expecting something that we're not getting. And that's a little discouraging, when you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be at least getting 4% and we're not getting anything. And I don't know when we're going to start getting distributions. So far, the property seems safe. And again, I'm in an LP position, so I don't have any say in this deal. My voice is silent here in this one, but it's um, a good reminder of going into a deal and knowing that these are all projections, nothing is guaranteed in these types of investments. And so just being aware of that, realizing what you're getting yourself into, but also being cautious. And for me, I think it just helped us realize that the cash flow piece is really important for us. Again, going into it, I love to see deals that are already cash flowing out of the gates. And so this one that's not, I'm bummed for us. And I'm also bummed for the other investors that got into it, hoping and thinking. I mean, I heard of some people that were literally like putting tons of money into all these different deals, thinking, hey, we're going to quit our job. And
Ooh,
then none of them are distributing. And they're like, shoot, I got to stay in my job because all this money I thought was going to be coming in from my passive investments is not, So
for
it's
sure.
it has been a hard season. I'm hoping that we're coming out of that. And I think people are looking at investments different. For us, we love multifamily, but it's been hard to make multifamily numbers pencil out. So we've shifted our focus in doing some assisted living, and that's been a really great asset class for us. We're in the midst of working on a deal right now in that space, and so we love that because there's just more upside. There's more opportunity. We can get facilities for cheaper, and there's a lot of ways we can move the needle and get the cash flow up, for our investors. And so we've kind of had to shift a little bit, think through like what's the best place to focus right now. And not to say multifamily is not a good space. The prices have just been so high and interest rates have been so high. You can't, it's really hard to make money unless you're just really getting at a discount or, it's in a distressed situation where the sellers are just dying to get out of it.
Great information. Yeah, I think you're preaching facts. I mean, a lot of our members are experiencing some of the massive fluctuation in rates over the last couple of years, and it is hard to make money right now.
Yeah.
Um, I love that you started talking a little bit about the asset class that you guys are really putting emphasis in, which is the assisted living space.
Mhm.
As a new investor, let's just assume somebody who's listening right now is really intrigued about that asset class. Maybe they're really interested in getting to know you better. What would a new investor or like a new client experience in maybe the first couple of weeks getting to know you, getting to know the asset class, your guys' current raise? What could they expect from you and your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would definitely visit our website. It is Tailored Investments, like my name. You can see up here at the top, tailoredinvestments.co. We have a free PDF on some tips and tricks for creating financial freedom. There's a lot of amazing books out there I love to read. And so I have a PDF that you can download, and that'll put you on our email list. And then we have some educational content that we send out over about a 4 to 6 week time frame, regular emails that'll just give you more information on this type of investing, not necessarily focused on assisted living. We have been sending out emails recently on this current raise that we're doing. But I would love to hop on the phone, schedule some time over Zoom. Typically, we do about a 15 to 30-minute call. I just want to get to know, potential investors and hear about your goals, hear about, what you're after, what is intriguing to you, what questions do you have, how can I help you get to where you want to go? I might not be the right place for you to invest your money, or our company might not be the right place, but I have a lot of connections in this industry, so I'm happy to help point you in the right direction if you're really focused on maybe self-storage or mobile home parks. There's some really great operators out there that I've come across, and I'd be happy to just help, guide you in any way that I can. I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a lawyer, but I'm again happy to just be a resource. I've spent some time in this space and I love it. I love real estate, and this is my full-time gig. So if I can help in any way, I'm glad to do that.
For sure. Yeah, no, thank you so much. And obviously, we've really only just scratched the surface about you, your company, what an investor can expect doing business with you. And I would just encourage anybody that's listening right now to reach out. Go to Rebecca's website, tailoredinvestments.co, right? CO.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
And get to know her, get to know kind of what she's up to, and get on that email list, start receiving some of that helpful information. And of course, they could reach out to you via email. I'm sure that would be okay as well, right?
Absolutely. And one other thing I forgot to mention, I do have a YouTube channel,
Oh,
and there's a lot of videos there, just very basic videos. A lot of the folks that I'm talking to have never invested like this. So we put together some videos just to provide education. And we also uploaded our recent webinar for the deal that we're just wrapping up. So that'll just give you a good overview. If you are interested in the assisted living class, that video will just give you a good overview of what it looks like, why we're investing in that space, and the current deal that we've worked on, which we're just getting ready to wrap up. But just some good resources you can check out and hopefully be helpful.
oh, wonderful. Excellent. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for taking the time to join me and to share some of these insights. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Joel. So good to be here, and I look forward to connecting with your listeners.
Awesome. Yeah. And thank you, everybody who took the time to listen. And we'll talk to you all later. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.